go. Another episode of the Milk Room Podcast. So I'm your host, Greg, and today I have a very special guest. Why don't you go and introduce yourself?
I didn't know we're filming.
Right,
I did not know we're filming.
Yeah.
My name is Breyton Croom. I also did not. Sorry. My name is Breyton Croom, also known as Be Able.
Hey, so ladies and gentlemen, Milk Room family, we've got Be Able in the building today. So you're a musician. How'd that come about in your life? When that inspiration come to you?
So for me, music has been a part of my life almost really since I was born. I always enjoyed listening to the Muppets. I love, my favorite Muppet was Kermit the Frog growing up, and whenever I would cry, the Muppets version of Aruba, Jamaica by the Beastie Boys would always calm me down. So when I was young, music always just captivated me so much. It doesn't discriminate at all, and I've always loved performing in front of people.
Wow, that's so cool. So the Muppets served their purpose, because that was their purpose, to come out there and inspire kids, right?
Indeed, especially, Kermit the Frog and Wheat Rainbows.
I love that guy.
He was definitely an inspiration to me, like a good, positive figure for me growing up.
Wow. So when did you pick up an instrument?
So I picked up an instrument when I was 10. The clarinet was my instrument of choice. I played in the bands and stuff. Then in 6th grade, picked up the bass clarinet. Wanted to do more jazz, so in 7th grade I switched to the saxophone. And I just fell in love with it since then.
Wow. Talk about being able to pour out emotion through an instrument, like a saxophone, right?
Dude, I've been playing my emotions probably out in almost every instrument I've touched.
Wow.
Clarinet, bass clarinet, tenor sax, soprano sax. It really is just based on how you treat it as such. Do you treat it as an activity, or do you treat it as a lifestyle? And for me, I just love it that it's part of my lifestyle now. And the fact that I get to share my talent with the world is a blessing.
Wow. So who are some of your mentors coming up? Who are some of those people in your life that really played a role with you falling in love with music?
That is a very, very, very good question. When it comes to mentors I've had in music, the teachers that I've had, I will give credit to my 7th grade band teacher, Mr. Schumacher, who really emphasized, practicing, making sure that I, express myself in a way. He also taught me a lot of life lessons, brutally honest. He would definitely pick me out a lot, but in a sense, if he doesn't pick you, he just wants you to do better. So I freaking love Mr. Schumacher, my mentor, Mr. Estes, who taught me my first lessons on saxophone. But my current music mentor, Quadri L. Admin, also a big inspiration. He used to work with Michael Jackson and Boyz II Men. So any time I get a chance to talk to him is an absolute blessing.
That's so cool. So success in music is really subjective. So what does that look like for you as a musician in it right now? What does success look like for you as a musician?
What defines success for me as a musician is really being happy with my music.
That's so cool. So are you starting to create the opportunities for yourself to start monetizing your music? Are you building a catalog for yourself? What does the business aspect of music look like for you these days?
The business aspect of my music is really to promote autism awareness and autism acceptance. I was diagnosed with autism when I was 2 years old. I was also diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, since I was 2. The neurologist told my mom that I would never go to college, much less finish high school. I need care for the rest of my life. But my parents, went beyond that label and got me, all the help I need. And in 2018, I graduated with my master's of science degree in accounting.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So to me, the neurodiverse or individuals that are autistic in my life, I see them as superheroes, man. like disability is a misconception, and I feel like the friends that I have that are neurodiverse or anything from disabled, if anything, they have a competitive advantage to me. Like some of the best coders I've met, some of the best story creators that I've met, some of the best musicians. I mean, you're talking about creatives coming out of this community, right? Because autism is a community at the end of the day, right?
It is. It's definitely a community. It definitely is. And all that you just said, please tell that to Robert F. Kennedy, please.
If you're listening, Rob, give him the message. What are you telling him?
Autism is not a problem. It's a game changer.
And it's all about leveraging it, right? I got this buddy of mine, Clayne. He launched this program, and he wrote a book actually that helps prepare people with autism with job career readiness skills. Because some of them want to go to work, some of them want to participate, and so he's training them up for that. So on the concept of community, you recently rallied community around a cause, right?
Yes, the cause was that in January, well, really February 2018, I completely ran out of funds. My 401k that I worked with, that had, after I left, a big name accounting firm, who I voluntarily quit because they didn't have the patience or willingness to really understand me, or come at me rather. My work was very undervalued. That 401k that was keeping me afloat here in Los Angeles for almost a year and a half. I've been bouncing around from job to job to job, dealing with employers that just wouldn't accommodate me. They just wouldn't have the patience or the time to really get to know me. So, I got through the year and a half with the 401k, the income I was making from all those jobs that I had, but unfortunately what happened was all those fundings just were gone. And I was literally close to moving back with my parents in New Hampshire. And, my parents, I love them, but unfortunately they have a death in the family. I lost my grandpa this year, so my grandma's now living with them. And it's just hard, and it would be hard on them, I think, for me to move back, especially with now the cars that they're handling right now with my grandma with dementia. So February, I'm, performing at the Creative Collective open mic. And that's how, Sonny and I officially met. So we made an effort for the past, I would say almost 3 months now, getting more funds to rally the community, to keep me here in Los Angeles, raise funds for me in the short term, raise some support for the autism community in the long term, because through all this work, I plan on giving back to the autistic community, giving back to everyone who has helped me along the way. We did hit our goal on April 19th, so I'm able to stay here much longer. So these past 2 months have been no short been a blessing from God.
So talk to me about this creative community that showed up for you. So was it strangers that showed up and then became friends? Like what was that like for you?
So the community that came out to support me at the open mics were people from this combination with Creative Collective and Barclays Coffee. Those communities really did come and try to put on events for me in order to raise funds. We always make sure to give opportunities to artists who always want to come out, perform, socialize. Even though there wasn't a lot of people in both, it still just has so much positive assurance that there are people in my corner who want the best for me and not the best for themselves.
Doesn't that feel good? Because it's so easy to feel alone, but the reality is like when we open ourselves to be showing up to communities, participating, magic happens.
Magic does happen. Magic definitely does happen. You don't know who is listening to your story. You don't know who really wants to, help you out in your time of need. And I can confidently say, like, with Wyken's help, with Creative Collective's help, Barclay's help, we were able to really change a life.
I love that. So wait, let's back it up. So Wyken, our boy with St. Rose Agency, how'd you guys meet, and what's that friendship been like for you?
So that was at the February Creative Collective open mic. I told them, about my story, about my current situation, how I was, running out of funds. I want to go back to Los Angeles. After the performance, Wyken pulled me to the side and said, I'm going to give you my phone number. Please stay in contact with me. I think we'll find you some resources to help you stay out of here. So after the performance, I texted him and got his number, but the following day, followed up with him. He said, "Are you available right now for me?" So he got me in contact with disability advocates, California Regional Center, and through it all, we both knew the processes would take months before it actually received any support. So Wyken was like, okay, we gotta raise more funds, open a merch store, and it's still up to this day. So beablesmerch.com for anyone who wants to buy a shirt, cup shirt, water bottle. I know in the milk room right now, but this is a promotion.
No. We need you guys to show up for our friend Be Able. Then cash out, grab a shirt, grab the package, show up. So that sounds like Wyken. Like Wyken shows up and like that man is bringing value out the gate. Like modern day, like I see him as like a modern day superhero.
I would say that I think it's more than just Wyken showing up. It was God showing up.
There we go.
Because, I pray to God long before I met Sonny, or Wyken rather, that I just want to release my music or be surrounded with the right people. And I think God answered my prayer with Wyken, who has been helpful, went out of his way multiple times for me. So I'm glad to have worked with him and still work with him. He's got me an apprenticeship with his organization, the Dakar Foundation. Everything that I've been going through these past 2 months, I'm dealing with a lot of the difficulties that I've had. Even getting my 3-day eviction notice on World Autism Awareness Day.
Wow.
So I'm very grateful for the community I have, especially right now.
And you're such a strong individual because you really have the odds stacked against you. But even throughout that, you continue to persevere and continue to move forward, and not just by yourself, but now with your tribe, now with your crew. Like the people over at Creative Collective, like they don't even know the magic that they're organizing with what they're doing. And shout out to them for doing an amazing job and giving that creative a home to like really pull up and collaborate and participate, more importantly. So you dropping music on Apple, like what's the game plan when it comes to music?
So for right now, I'm actually planning on making my very first album, which is called The Definition. Because one thing I always say in my performances is, do not let anything or anyone define who you are or what you can do. So my very first album, I plan to release it by the end of 2025. It's gonna have hip hop, it's gonna have R&B, it's gonna have jazz, it's gonna have classical stuff. It's gonna showcase a lot of me through all the purposes of autism awareness, inclusion, and acceptance.
I love this, man. And I've got a lot of friends out there that have communities of people that support autism. Like this buddy of mine launched this organization at one point called Coding for Autism. And so what happens is a lot of tech companies want to hire neurodiverse individuals to come code for them. And so they've created pipelines for that kind of energy to happen. So like right now really is your moment, and like whatever you want to do, it truly is possible. So we're dropping an album later this year. What else are you working on? You got any shows coming up or any artists that you'd like to collaborate with?
Absolutely. This Friday I will be performing at Creative Collective, which is in West Hill. So if you're in that area, please come out. It's always such a great pleasure to perform at Creative Collective. David always makes sure that I'm welcome, make sure that I feel right at home. I do. The artists I love to collaborate with, I'm already starting to collaborate with Lady B. I want to do a song with Big Mike the Virgo, Ali for sure, Tony Newberry, a whole bunch of artists that I definitely want to collaborate with. But this is not just Los Angeles; it's also New Jersey too, where I'm from. So, New Jersey, please do not think that I have forgotten about you. I love you all. I miss you all so much. And one day I'm gonna come back and we're gonna have ourselves a lit party.
That's it. Because at the end of the day, like, we have to leave our city for our city to love us. And so you're far from New Jersey, representing you, like, you carry your city on your shoulders. The way you act, the way your mannerisms, right? And so New Jersey's in your heart.
New Jersey is in my heart. Even though I was born in Santa Monica, California, the seed was planted in New Jersey.
So you took advantage of both coasts.
Coast to coast.
That's it. That's it. So any plans for traveling or any cities you have a desire to pull up to and explore?
Absolutely. I literally just came back from Bakersfield. So I was at this place called Cali Culture, which is a dispensary. It was the first time I ever performed at a dispensary. They were doing a live band, like internet show, which was so much fun. I got to jam out. So June 21st, Wyken and I, hopefully a couple other guys, will come up there, give some business, and just have a good time.
Man, you are really expanding your network and then bringing people with you. Here you pulled up to Bakersfield one week and now we're pulling up with a bunch of friends and creating an energy up there. I love that. So why Los Angeles? What inspired that? So you're chilling in New Jersey, you graduate from high school. Like, what was that moment like where you're like, I'm headed west?
I've been having this dream for a while now. It was a dream. It was a 15-year-long dream. When I was 14, my family took spring break trip to California. It was my very first time seeing it. Prior to that, the last time I was in California when I was just a baby, because I was born in Santa Monica. So I never really got to see what California looked like. And when I was 14, I was like, man, this is beautiful. This is amazing. Like, this is where I was born. Like, and instantly I just felt like a piece of myself connected. So it was a great time, great trip, and I made a promise to myself that one day I was going to move back and make this my home. And 15 years later, July of 2023, I made it possible.
Wow, that's brave. Because a lot of people talk about moving to Los Angeles, but few really put that effort in. So did you know people before you showed up? Did you have a network out here?
So thankfully my dad had a friend in California. They've known each other since college. I stayed with him for about a couple of days, explored apartments. I landed one right in Koreatown. Very first choice, got it. I've been living there almost 2 years.
That's so cool. When I was born, my mom lived on Wilshire and Irolo.
Oh, okay, nice. Oh, yeah, I know that is.
So that's the LA but you're in the heart of it all.
I am in the heart of it all.
So what are some of your favorite things to do in your neighborhood? Like, where are you eating or where are you going for peace out there?
Well, I honestly wish there were more pizza places out in Koreatown, or at least some good ones. I mean, nothing beats New Jersey, New York,
Right,
New York
right.
pizza.
But that all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue.
I'm definitely taking advantage of that.
Oh,
I'm definitely taking
man. What are
advantage.
some of your favorite spots living out there?
So I've only been to 2 so far. I've been to Gangnam, which is at Wilshire Western Station, and also Castle, which is on Western Avenue. But I do tend on exploring more. I'm going on dates, so that's probably a good place to go to if you're on a budget.
I love it. So what's dating been like for you in LA?
You know, I would say that for the most part, dating has it's been a struggle.
Okay.
Because a lot of people, love interest, in my opinion, don't really take the time to get to know me. But then again, a lot of people really don't. And for me, being on the spectrum, it requires a lot more patience than probably most people. For me, I know myself, I do probably need a little bit more attention, a little bit more grace, a little bit more mercy. But I think that just comes with, really investing time in me. Just making sure that, but it's really not all the woman's fault. Back then, I had a lot of mental health issues. I feel like, my love interest needed to complete me, whether she really needs to compliment me. So I'm in a position now where I really don't need a girl to make me feel whole, but I really just want someone to really compliment me.
I love that, and the universe hears that and responds with that too. So continue to be descriptive with what you look for in a partner, because the more descriptive we are, the more likely she is to show up, or they are to show up in our lives. But wait, have you seen the show Love on the Spectrum?
I've applied for that show.
Okay,
yeah.
That'd be fun. That would be fun. We have you wearing the shirt every episode. But what a beautiful show, in my opinion, because it really shows me a part of people that we really don't get to peek at too often. And it's like the whole courting aspect of relationships.
I just feel when it comes to dating, especially for those on the spectrum, is people have this stigma that people with autism cannot be in romantic relationships, and that's not the case. People on the spectrum are so much different from everyone else, and people on the spectrum are different from other people on the spectrum because we don't think all the same. We have our own interests, our own capabilities, we have our own desires. So I'm definitely more social, in my opinion, than I think some other people. But I know that people out there on the spectrum that are more social than me.
Right.
So I'm not, in my honest opinion, it really comes to the matter of getting to know me, investing time in me, and just really enjoying the process.
I love that. So walk me through what your ideal first date would look like here in LA with somebody.
Ideal first date. Oh gosh. Ideal first date for me, in my opinion, will just something very casual. We go to a Starbucks. We go to a coffee shop and just really sit down, and really have a good, engaging conversation. That's really all I want, really, for a first date. Anything above that, that'll be like a cherry on top.
Yeah. I'm a fan, first date, especially here in LA, of a walk on the beach.
That would also be a good idea. Yep.
Because something about walking, it does something to your brain and your heart, where it's not as intimidating for the other person, and the heart is moving and energy is being created.
No, I agree. I love the beach. I love going sunbathing. Sometimes I'll go on the beach and I'll just bring my saxophone and start playing.
Oh man, what a treat. One of my favorite spots here in LA is the Getty off the 405.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
What an amazing view. I feel like Simba up there. My mom used to hold me, dad used to hold me over the railing.
Oh god.
But what an amazing view, right? When you're seeing from beyond LAX to Griffith Park, and it really gives you perspective on how big, but more importantly, diverse LA is, right? Have you seen more diversity here than growing up in New Jersey?
So, I'm going to say yes. Los Angeles is definitely more diverse than it has been in New Jersey. I mean, when you think about Los Angeles, like you have people there from all over the world, like come to Los Angeles to achieve their dreams. I met women from Russia, from Austria. Some people came all the way from the Ukraine to come here, and to be honest, it just feels like so amazing to get to know all these different types of people, be friends with them, work with them. It's just an honor. New Jersey, you really don't get that so much. Like, I feel like for New Jersey, for the most part, they're really people who are like born and raised, haven't really traveled somewhere. I mean, sure, we might get some people from Europe, but ideally, I really didn't see that much diversity.
Mm-hmm. And to me, like growing up here in LA, I felt like they prepared me for the world, because you have to be tolerant, because you're gonna see everything. Like there's this really cool, it ain't even funny. There's this video I saw on TikTok once, and this lady's like, here's how you know if people are really from New York. And she yells in the middle of the street, and people just keep walking.
Yeah.
It's like you become desensitized to it. So anywhere, like any other countries you have a desire to visit and explore?
Believe it or not, I have been to so many different countries. It's unbelievable. I've been to England, Spain, France, South Korea. I've been to the Bahamas. I've been to Bermuda. So I'm very well cultured.
What a gift! That's a gift, like in any room, right? So your passport's just stamped away. So talk to me about some of your favorite places that you've been.
So going back to your question of what countries I want to explore, countries I want to go to, I want to go to Germany. More specifically, the Wagner Theater. I want to go to Italy. I want to go to China. I want to go to Japan. I've heard Bali is really nice, so I want to go there. Australia. So my favorite places I've been to, and this is globally, one of my favorite places, actually, believe it or not, is England.
What'd you do there?
Just a British girl.
I love it. I love it. We gotta get you back there ASAP. That's fun. How long were you out there for?
I was there for a week. It was
Okay, my guy moves fast.
It was great. It was part of my college curriculum. I went there for college. Stayed at the Roxton campus in Banbury, England. So I went to Oxford, dropping upon Avon, London, and Banbury.
Wow. What'd you major in?
I majored in accounting.
Okay. That's something that's not going away, or is there an AI threat for what you do?
All right. I would say my question. I'm gonna answer that question with a question.
All right.
What version of AI can hold a person accountable?
Okay, true. So, like, I recently ran all my tax documents through my ChatGPT, right, with the prompt of like, you're a top CPA in California. Walk me through my. It's an interesting playing field. Are you leveraging AI to your advantage day to day?
Yes, but I would say not for like tax
Right.
purposes. I use ChatGPT for a lot of things. I've used ChatGPT to create captions for Instagram posts. Sometimes I use ChatGPT to help me with songwriting, because sometimes with songwriting experience, writer's block. Sometimes I use ChatGPT to proofread messages that was sent to women.
Right.
But for a ChatGPT, I would never use it for accounting.
Okay. It's because like it's coming for a lot of industries.
It is.
Right? And so it's some industries, like this buddy of mine, he edits videos, and I'm like, you better learn how to dig a ditch or install electrical lines, because AI is coming for certain industries. And now with making music, I saw that somebody built this arm that it's a robot that engineers a mixing board.
Why is that not surprising to me?
Right. So it's a trip, right? So with stuff like that, you're either participating, a spectator, or a hater. Right?
Yeah.
And like, what a cool time to like play around. Like, to me, one of my favorite instruments, and it's a really old instrument, and I don't know the name of it, but it's a stick, almost like a wand, a theremin or theremin, and like the more you put your hand away from it, it makes a noise.
Oh, yeah, I think I've heard about that. I don't know what the name is.
And those are old. They were doing that in the 50s, you know? And so, like, I'd be curious as to, like, what was the last new instrument that was invented?
I don't even.
Has it been a minute? What do you think?
I feel like it's been a minute. It's like we don't see a lot of new instruments now being live streamed. We just see, you know, saxophones being commercialized. We see trumpets being commercialized. But that all just comes from the, you know, the jazz era when it comes to like being played on the radio, that being so often. Jazz bands even, you know, we classify as jazz instruments because we don't get to see, you know, clarinets, flutes, oboes in jazz, but you see a lot of brass with saxophones, trumpets, trombones. There's just so much there that I just think can be more commercialized, but we just stick to what we know, not to what we can grow.
Right. So how would you describe jazz in one word?
Free.
To be, so out of college in the Valley, there was this club called Charlie O's, and at Charlie O's you get a $3 cranberry vodka, and there's always a jazz band going, and you never know who's gonna show up and just rock the house. And some nights it'd be elbow to elbow, other nights it'd be 4 of us in there, you know. But where does somebody go for good jazz in Los Angeles here these days?
They go to me.
Okay, I like that. Right. Because there's an opportunity.
It is such an opportunity for me to play anywhere. Bakersfield, San Diego, LA, Lancaster. You know, I'll just be performing, bringing my saxophone. Sometimes you'll see me at Santa Monica Pier with Concept. So it's always a great opportunity for me to turn something into something that's my own. And one ways that I do that is through jazz.
I love that you're getting out there, because I'm a fan of that 10,000 hour rule, where the more golf balls I hit, the better golfer I become. The more I strum a guitar, the better guitar player I am. And then you being able to practice your craft in the city of LA, you never know who's watching. That booking agent at the Playboy Jazz Festival could be crossing the street as you're playing his favorite tune a certain type of way that he's never heard it before.
And that's kind of how I met Lincoln.
There we go.
I mean, I didn't expect him to, you know, reach out to me the way he did. So if I can give any advice to any artist, is tell your story, because you never know who's watching.
That's right. So are there any autistic musicians that either inspire you or that we should be listening to these days?
Yes, I will give a very special shout out to Candace Denise. She actually plays clarinet, she plays cello, I think she plays piano. She's studying at UCLA. She's also on the spectrum. We've had a chance to talk, so I want to feature her on my first album. Let's create like some original song, a jazz song for the album, have her on it. So I eventually, once I get more stable, once I get more money for studio time, I want to do a jazz song with Candace.
I love that. And what an opportunity too. It's like I'm thinking like an autistic orchestra or jazz ensemble that is just gonna come in and kick down so many doors and blow people's minds.
I wouldn't mind doing that. I wouldn't mind creating my own live band with autistic musicians. I was thinking like Be Able and the Ableites, or Be Able and the Abled.
I love that.
Just making sure that we set aside, you know, that we're different, and we're different, not less, different, not special. It would just bring so much difference, because being different makes all the difference.
That's it. That's the line right there. This buddy of mine, he pieced together like this. it was just like this pieced together orchestra, and he found all these people online, and they literally jam online. Mm-hmm. And he's got his sound system set up, so he's hearing everybody how he needs to, and they hear him how they need to, and like collaboration is easier than ever, right?
It's definitely easier than ever. I used to be on a site like that, where artists will say, I need this instrument, that instrument, and they would sometimes accept you as part of that project. So that was a fun thing I did years ago. I wouldn't mind doing that again.
Because that's what it is, right? It's like collaborating. To me, like the easiest way for an artist to make money in music is by collaborating.
Yeah.
Because you never know where someone's going to end up or where I'm going to end up. And I need somebody to either open up for me or jump on tour with me. And
for me, when it comes to collaboration, one thing I try not to focus on is the money, but also the mission. I'm collaborating with a couple artists right now, and one discussion I had with one artist I was working with is that, I'm not really looking for the money, I'm looking for experience. Like, I'd rather be given credit for my work than the money I work.
Right.
Than money.
Right.
Because credit is money will only do so much, but credit will definitely take you a long way.
So one of my favorite musicians created one of my favorite jingles of all time. Do you ever watch the show Law and Order?
Oh
the dun dun.
Which one?
Anyone. You know the part where they go dun dun on the show? Come on, he's on his phone. Shout out to you. That's my favorite show, but in it, the dun dun that they use, or the I saw an interview with the guy that wrote that, and this man is so paid. I was like, I get it. He's like, yeah. Dick Wolf came up to me and he's like, I need something really dramatic that really opens up a scene. He's like, dun dun.
Let's go to court. Bum, bum, let's go make some law now. Yeah.
Oh man, could you imagine writing a jingle on a show that's just on TV forever like
I know,
that?
yeah.
That's goals. And then we think about who was it? Like I read another story where like another artist, because some shows get syndicated, so like your music gets placed on the right show, you can potentially eat for a long time as an artist.
I wouldn't mind doing that too. I always get emails from people who want some type of music in a film. I just need to make sure I have the studio equipment ready to record all that. Because I know that there are some films that are looking for some jazz ambiance in their songs, so I'm willing to just create something for that, but also make sure it's part of also my discography,
right?
So that I can put this in an album, put this there, make vinyl so that people can just sit back and enjoy it.
I mess with that. And this buddy of mine, he like scores stuff for a living, and he's like, I could take one scene and make you feel happy, sad, scared. I can make you feel an array of emotions based on the music I use for that one scene. So that almost be like I almost want to film and direct a movie just so I can score it.
Right. Yeah.
Which could be a lot of fun, right? Like a good mental exercise of like, how would I score that scene different? Is a real career here in LA. Like someone does that for a living, for a lot of money too.
They do. And I used to arrange music back then. When I was in college, I arranged the FDU band's backtrack. I went to Fairleigh Dickinson University. That's my undergrad and graduate. I was in the band there, and I arranged one year, did an arrangement of Miles Davis's So What.
Wow.
And so I arranged the whole piece. I conducted it actually. So I wish I had the footage of me being the conductor for that band, but it does exist. Professor Cohen, shout out to him. He can always back me up on that. So that's definitely something I'm gonna try and do again.
That's so cool. Some of my favorite recent moments with an orchestra is like what Metro Boomin did. Did you see he brought an entire orchestra out? He had this show out in LA and they filmed it for Red Bull, and he brought like an entire orchestra out and they played all his music. What a treat. And then there's this other video I seen of Justin Bieber legit conducting an orchestra, or at least the visual was sold to me that he was conducting an orchestra.
Justin Bieber, a conductor? How do you work with that?
Well, he's probably paying everybody's salary, so they're just on the go.
I'm just like so. I mean, not to rap. I'm just not trying to diss on Justin Bieber or anything like that, but it's like I'm not just sure like Justin Bieber conductor. I don't know how that goes together.
Right. Well, I'm excited for you and what the future has in store for you and the value that you're going to bring the creative community, not just here in Los Angeles, but it seems that you're creating impact and buzz wherever you turn up. What, Bakersfield wants you back?
Bakersfield wants me back. They do.
I love that. So how do people stay in touch with you? Are you active on Instagram?
Yes, I do. Oh, I wish I should have brought my stickers that I just got from Bakersfield. To stay in touch with me, my Instagram is b.ableofficial. That is b.ableofficial. There you can find me that on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. My website is bablesmerch.com. That's BABLES merch.com.
I love it. So you planning on calling LA home for now?
Yes, I want LA to be honest, to be my permanent home.
I love that, man. Well, I appreciate you pulling up to the Milk Room podcast today, and anytime you've got a story to share, or if you want to interview anyone for the podcast, I'd love to have you back. So I'm a new fan. Keep doing what you're doing. Your link in bio on Instagram to everything. So see the able, not the label, ladies and gentlemen. And on that note, we're out. Peace.
Wow.
Woo!
Bro,
That was a good run, huh?
That was.
You like how we jumped
Great.
right into it too? Because
Wow.
when I said people love